Hey friends, Kevin here, and today we're going to talk about some different heating sources since we're rolling into winter right now. Different heating sources for vans. Now, of course, most people that are even looking at van life stuff or have been in it very long, they know about the little Mr. Buddy, Mr. Heater Buddy kind of stuff. But I had one of the viewers, one of you gals, ask about one of these Martin gas catalytic heaters that you'd seen, which looks an awful lot like one of the little Mr. Buddy heaters. And apparently Coleman used to make a version of this. Maybe that's what it turned into, this Martin gas catalytic heater, as they're calling it. But basically it runs on the little 1 pound propane tanks. She wanted to know, had I heard of this? And the answer was, no, I haven't, but I'll do some research on it. Well, I did do some research on it, and there's other brands including that. So we're going to compare those to the Mr. Buddy stuff that everybody's familiar with and tell you what the differences are, because there are some very, very important differences. So let's get to it. Now we'll start with the Mr. Buddy stuff. These Mr. Buddy propane heaters, the little Buddy and all of that, just made a propane tank screws into the bottom of it. You have one or two settings. You have a little button you use as an igniter. It puts out heat. But propane also puts out dangerous chemicals, unfortunately. So the Mr. Buddy stuff, and this depends on how much you believe in it in an enclosed space, especially like a van, minivan, cargo van is going to be, is you need to have a window cracked, maybe a side window, and cracked about 1 inch. You want 6 or 8 square inches of fresh air coming in when you have this thing running. Now, that Mr. Buddy stuff has a couple of safety features built in. One, it has a feature that if it tips over, turns over, it will cut off. So it doesn't fall down on the floor, fall against something, catch something on fire. That is a safety feature. The second safety feature, and this is the important one for using it in van life in any form, because you're in a really small enclosed space, is that it has an oxygen sensor built into it. If the oxygen level dips below a certain level, because you're replacing the oxygen that you would normally have in that enclosed space with carbon monoxide, which can kill you from this thing running, if they get out of whack too much, it's made to automatically shut the unit off. That's the safety feature built into it. So you can use it indoors, as they call it, at all. Whether that be a small shed, a small garage, or like many people do, using it for heat in van life. The problem is when you get into a lot of these other things and you're shopping online or you're looking in a store, because they all say you're going to see these things for outdoor use only. And a lot of people ignore this. But here's the difference. And this Martin unit is a really nice looking unit, has adjustable legs, looks very similar except for color in design to the Mr. Buddy stuff. But here's what it doesn't have. It doesn't have any safety features because it's made for outdoor use. It is made for you to be sitting outside in the cold and set this thing on the ground or on a table and point it at you, so you have a little bit of heat blowing at you, a little bit of comfort. That's it. There are no oxygen sensors built into that thing. I don't think it has any of the tip over stuff. So it would be very, very dangerous to use that in any type of enclosed space, especially in a minivan or cargo van for any length of time. And I can tell you that many years ago, this is going back close to 30 years ago, when I lived in a different state that was a little bit colder, and I remember this horrible story because propane heaters have always been around in some form, propane heaters and kerosene heaters. And there was a family that dropped their children off at their grandparents' in the town that I used to live in one morning on a cold, windy winter morning and went to work. And when they came back from work to pick their children up, everyone was dead. because the grandparents had decided it was a good idea to seal everybody off in one room with this heater going in order to save a little money. And unfortunately, it slowly, the oxygen went down, the dangerous chemicals went up, everybody slowly went to sleep, and unfortunately didn't wake up. And this isn't the only time these things have happened. I'm sure it happens every year, every winter, all across the country, multiple times. And I hate to say it, but I'm really surprised this hasn't happened more in van life, with people trying to use different unsafe heat sources, either because they don't know any better or they're simply desperate and they take a chance that could put an end to their life by using some unsafe heat source in that enclosed space. If you're going to do it, the Mr. Buddy, Little Buddy stuff is going to be your only safe choice. And of course, there's links to that stuff down below. I've done other videos on these. Links where you can pop over to Amazon, see what the current prices are with this stuff. But be safe. That's the main thing. Be safe. And even using these. And I have an interview that's going to be coming up soon with someone I met on the road a month or two back that has been doing this for over a year. They went through last winter in way up north in their van. So they have some experience, even more experience than I do, with these buddy heaters and things. And we had a conversation, and even what they were talking about is, you know, making sure you have a window open somewhere. You have to have fresh air coming in, even with that. So these things are not devices that you're going to run all night. Even though you may see it runs 4 hours on this, or it runs 7 hours on this setting, so that'll get me through the night or most of the night. That's not what they're designed for. They're designed for you to crack that window, turn these things on, run them 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it takes to get your vehicle inside, your van inside, up to the temperature that you want, and then turn them off, shut your window, jump in your bed for the night. That's what they're designed for. So they're not made to run, like I said, all night long. They're not going to provide extreme comfort all night long. It's to get you from point A to point B, to get your vehicle warmed up enough inside that you can make it through the night with covers and blankets and what have you. So keep all of that in mind. If you have any questions, certainly put those down below, and we'll talk soon.